Yo, what is up everybody? Arashi here, backing out another upload. In today's video, we're going to be talking about General Grievous and Count Dooku. In today's video, we're going to be analyzing exactly how Dooku knew that Grievous would lose to Obi-Wan eventually. Now, as we all know that Count Dooku was the one in charge of training Grievous. And as we all know, Dooku was one of the best duelists in the entire galaxy. And heck, even Grievous became one of the best duelists, non-force sensitive duelists actually too, in the entire galaxy at the time of the Clone Wars. Now, as we all know, that Grievous was extremely powerful and was a great fighter, but the one way that he actually got away with doing this is by fighting with fear on his side. He would often try to scare his opponents, and this is exactly why Jedi were very weak to him. Because as we all know, that something like fear can get in the way of a Jedi's connection to the Force. And also on top of that, Dooku trained him to be a very ferocious and powerful fighter. Now, outside of just training, Dooku actually had a lot to do with why Grievous was exactly like this. Behind the scenes, Dooku had actually manipulated Grievous's brain right before he went through his cybernetic enhancements. He made him more susceptible to his rage. He dialed it up essentially really high, and then he also made his brain more susceptible to the Sith's grand plan. As he went on during the Clone Wars, killing more and more Jedi, he grew more and more confident. But as it went on, Dooku would eventually warn him that there are still Jedi within the Order that he would not be able to take out. When it came to Jedi like Yoda and Mace Windu, Grievous he conceded that. He knew that he would never be able to beat them in combat or best them in combat. But as Dooku would go on naming off all these names, he eventually got to one that really made Grievous mad, and that was Obi-Wan Kenobi, the negotiator himself. And he would even go on to explain to Grievous exactly how the battle would go on, and explain to Grievous exactly why he would lose to someone like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Dooku would explain to him that if he met someone in combat that could actually touch the Force deep in connection, much like Yoda and Mace Windu could, then he would lose just because their connection to the Force would bolster their lightsaber combat up to 10. And if need be, would boost them even further than that. And that's because they fought with no fear. They had their strong connection to the Force, and it allowed them not to fear anything. And since they were so grounded in the Force, this would completely disrupt General Grievous's attack plan, which used nothing but fear. Dooku would also go on to explain to Grievous that even though he knows about all 7 saber forms and he practiced them, he would never understand all of them to a deep extent, such as Yoda and Mace Windu do. Now, you may be asking yourself, why Obi-Wan? Why exactly would Obi-Wan hold such a grand footing against Grievous in combat? And this was mainly due to Obi-Wan Kenobi's complete mastery of the defensive saber form. He had little to no holes in his fighting style. I mean, you can't break through that. It was just too precise and too strong. Due to this is exactly why the Jedi Order ordered Obi-Wan to be the one to hunt down Grievous. Because the bare simplicity of what Obi-Wan was in his defensive form of combat was perfect for counteracting everything that Grievous was. He preyed on fear. He played on exploiting every single last Jedi's saber forms or their holes within their saber forms so he would be able to take them out easily. But Obi-Wan didn't have the exact same weaknesses to exploit. Dooku ultimately saw that Grievous lacked the intricacies and understanding of what it actually means to battle someone in saber combat. Although Grievous had an understanding of what exactly all 7 saber forms were and what their weaknesses were potentially going to be. But ultimately, Grievous fell to these small intricacies that go into battle, the mental side of things. He understood the physical side of things, but he didn't understand the mental and the Force connection. Obviously, he never could understand the Force connection because he's not Force sensitive. Obi-Wan didn't fear Grievous. And Obi-Wan was so grounded in the Force that the Force itself was directing Obi-Wan's blade. And due to this, Dooku realized this as well. Realized that Obi-Wan did not fear Grievous and that his weaknesses were almost non-existent within his defensive form. And through it all, the Jedi Council and Dooku and Grievous eventually found out that Obi-Wan was the ultimate trump card to him. And as Grievous would soon find out, or later on find out, that's exactly why Obi-Wan was sent to destroy him. Well, that's all I got for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. May the Force be with you, and as always, have a great rest of your day.